The cook gives the cumbersome tray he is carrying a little shake to prove its hefty weight. Good morning and move, please. Oof. I dodge him with my hands up in the air. Given the chance, the cook heads toward the prepping station. 10 minutes left until our shift officially starts, but the staff is racing around the kitchen at a rapid pace. Good morning, big girl. Oh, hello. Sakan snaps her head once in my direction to acknowledge my presence, while her hands are still expertly deboning a full bird. When I come to realize that Orin has been haunting this space right beside my left shoulder. Her eyes cast a gloomy gaze on the basket of raw ingredients next to me. I never know how to greet her. Sometimes Orin would act as if someone had called her over and ran the opposite side of the kitchen, called her over and ran to the opposite side of the kitchen when I said hello. If you still hadn't seen through her shabby act by then, the way Orin slowly slumped down with her paranoid eyes still watching you over the benchtop would surely raise your eyebrows. She jerks her head up and down at me a few times, indicating something. Orin grunts louder in frustration, as if it would make her intention clearer. With a defeated sigh, she dodges around my body to steal away the basket behind me. Someone should let Orin know I also speak her language. Gently, like handling a stray who never knew love. Her eyes are on mine for a second before landing back on her own visiting fingers. Good morning? Why do you keep saying that to me? You mean good morning? It's a form of greeting, love. Not all that deep. Aren't you preparing for tomorrow's meal? You must be confident. Orin is right. It is this week. Every 2 weeks, the cooks compete for a spot on Friday's menu. Each dish would face the judgment of both managers, Ida and Kiri. The winner receives nothing more than bragging rights in their name on the board of recognition. I'm not that interested in it, I suppose. In theory, nothing's stopping me from entering contests that is open to all staff in the kitchen. Being a winner may even put me in a favorable position if they were to decide on whether I could move up in the ranks. In reality, the other contenders have had multiple chances to prove themselves. 1 or 2 measly wins wouldn't amount to much. Oh, you're sitting out again? Good. When I look around, a few onlookers wear a changed expression. Some are sighing inwardly, some are nodding to themselves. A few lips have been pulled into small smiles. It's safe to say no one was unhappy with my remark. Because Kiri lives with you, and you're obviously well-liked. The boss treats you very well. What are you saying? Boss treats her very well? Okay. I guess the only one she really treats badly is Oren. But, the way that she was okay, so, yeah, I know you're supposed to be sous chef, but, no, here you go. Here's a lower position than that. No, that's not how you be a boss. That's just unfair. Seriously. She didn't treat her well at first, anyway. You know, I've noticed this. Vivian's been skipping days without really telling me in any way whatsoever. A lot of days, weeks or so. It kind of feels like it's moving faster and faster and faster at a kind of breakneck pace with, the more that I play this. That's just kind of the impression I'm getting. There's enough competition here already. She's not wrong. Good to know you abstained. Not that you shouldn't enter, but we have more to lose. Shakan, too? We have more to lose. I wasn't included, was I? With her easy smile and friendly demeanor, I always thought Sakan was on my side. I look at Kiri's usual spot for backup, but she has gone to Nimgon to pick up our pay. Perhaps it was arrogant to assume they see me as one of theirs rather than a short-term helping hand. What am I even doing here? Oof, big hug. I feel that. You're doing Dirong here. I thought that was essentially what you came here for. Just kidding. The other day, Sakan scolded a cook for filling my basket up to the brim. When I went to the freezer to take the basket back to my station, it was only half full. So, yes, I'm questioning your decision. It's not like I don't try. Can you move me to the line? Let me get this straight. Your supervisor, Sakan, tries to make your job easier, and you feel belittled. Eh? No. Does he not have to simplify my problem? I only wish my problem was how considerate Sakan has been, then at least I could speak to her about it. It's something I can't get better at no matter how hard I try. I am not your size, and I'm not your size. At least with cooking I can be more helpful, like seasoning or making soup. Line has enough cooks. And you're doing well, he nods. I'm doing well? Anything else? Nothing I can't handle. I thought moving to a new place meant having my slate wiped clean and finding a new kindred souls. It did, but the rest of my morning went by without a hiccup. At least that was what I assume happened. Nothing noteworthy jumped at me. Perhaps it was just my imagination, but the staff had less to say to me after the managers and I went out for a little talk. Did they think I snitched on them? As far as I know, my brain completely blanked out and my hands repeated my tasks like a well-oiled automaton. It wasn't until I reached the door to the pool that I realized I had been slogging through my lunch and then came straight here with my head down. It is always comforting to find Deerong at her spot near the window, our usual spot. She gives me her, really? Well, it's okay. I've loved this novel more or less so far, so I'm really glad that I played this, but like some of the English is a bit but I enjoy this for what it is, for certain. And you don't come to visual novels for brilliant writing. You come to them for the field trip, you know? She gives me a knowing look and a small greeting nod, and suddenly I am no longer in a place full of strangers. Hey, sweet cheeks. You are here again? Don't you want my company? Of course I do. I like it when you're here. Cute. I'm less surprised you're not hanging out with your friends. Then I guess I like it here with you, too. I have seen many smiles, but Deerong's has to be my favorite. They are pure delights with no hidden agendas. Are you drawing again? Deerong's delightful smile has stolen my full attention, so it takes me a while to notice the scribbled papers on her chair. I'm writing. Can I read? While Deerong dons the usual presentable look with her updo hairstyle and neat training attire, there is a wet stain on the back of her shirt. Her neck area around the hairline smells sweeter and muskier than usual. Deerong skitters away when my face gets a bit too close to her neck. Her cheeks darken with a blush. Sorry, I might be a bit sweaty from today's training. That's fine. We can shower together at the end of the day. Hehehe, Deerong nods. Goodness, she can be both sexy and adorable at the same time. God, I love this. This shot is so fucking cute. A poem? The care I have. Don't read it out loud, please. Deerong cringes and shakes her head. I shrug and read with my eyes. The care I have given is no longer in the present. The words I have forgotten are no longer my life sentences. Because it was a present, therefore it was given. I like this. Especially because I've been, getting into some spiritual stuff, and this kind of, this kind of the present as a gift thing is, and that it should be appreciated and you should live in the present, and etc. As best as you possibly can, and how to live in the present. I've been getting better and better at that, awesomely enough, and it's been extremely helpful for everything ever. Like, I had so much anxiety for doing this YouTube thing, even though I really wanted to do it, and now I'm just kind of comfortably doing it, and it took being more present to kind of get those anxiety issues to subside a little, abate a little. That's, I think, the word I was going for, because it was a present, therefore it was given, she patiently explains. Oh, right, it could be taken literally. Words and sentences, too. Aye. Deerong has stroked a long and rugged line beneath the first poem. You think words hurt. They do, but I know they heal, too. If you keep on being blue, then only one statement holds true. This rhymes. While they are fun and easy to read, the poems are short and they have simple structures. What do you think? I'd say they're good. But let's save first. I always save before choices. I like them a lot. Deerong pinches her chin. Can't tell whether she liked my answer. Is it good enough for the general public? You're thinking sharing with other people? Darren watches my expression going from mild curiosity to anticipation. She dips her head down before mouthing a no. It's something I wanted to try. You've been trying a lot of things lately. I want to find out what else I'm good at. I feel that. I've been doing that too. What have you found out so far? Small talk. Okay. Any examples? It's 10 points on today's weather has met your expectations. Your favorite food as a child, and how its consumption contributed to your current physique. How would you feel if your soulmate was sentenced to death? These are not small talk. Okay, I feel like each of these questions should be addressed in a much larger conversation. Well, Darren's stern appearance and monotonous voice might have initially worried me. I find myself engaging in many fun conversations with her, and fun, sexy times with her. I mean, what? But, that's irrelevant to the current conversation. I just, engaging in things with her. My brain went to sex, because my brain is my brain, and some brains are naturally pervy like mine. Wow. Alright. Pouring out me some sody pap, because I like me some sody pap. Wow. Delicious. To the point I nearly forgot how to get back to work until Darren casually reminded me. Time is just weird. I swear time always slows down to a halt just an hour before my shifts end. Yep, I feel that too. It's an interesting little psychological thing that seems to happen to most people that are in any kind of situation that they'd rather not be in. It's, again, it takes, focus on the present kind of a thing, When the clock struck 19:30, everyone had already cleaned up their stations and put the equipment back on the drying racks. Then the staff poured into the mess hall to be served dinner. Zakan and I end up sticking back a little longer tonight to mop up the floor. It is more relaxing to come back to a clean kitchen. Then we only need to waddle across the sea of dirty dishes. Why doesn't Aren sit with us? She's always off by herself. Even if I'm not taking part in the conversation, I still stay with the other staff. Occasionally I go to Kiri to sit next to me. Two people with little to say feel less awkward than just me by myself. Oh, she just does what she likes. She reminds me of my nephew who is currently wanted for digging up pet corpses. Jesus. Zakan says what? At least she listens to Chef, though. Oren's mother wanted her to be Ida's subordinate, after all. She does what she likes. It must be irritating knowing nothing someone else says will hurt you. It must be liberating knowing nothing someone else says will hurt you. In some ways, being disliked is better than being ignored. A small part of me envies Oren's ability to care so little about what others think of her. What are you going to make for the challenge, love? I don't really think... I don't really think Oren doesn't care. How shy she acts at times, I really think she does care a ton. She just really goes out of her way to not show it as best as possible. From experience. Things people said years ago, people that now are much years or months or weeks ago, people that now are on way better terms with me than they were at that point, or that have never said anything like that since, etc., still haunt me, like, to this very day. It's like, whenever I'm feeling mildly mad about myself, something from 10 years ago comes up, is like, someone said this thing that felt really mean to you, and so that must mean it's true, and that you're a piece of crapola, and I'm like, mind, please stop. I know I'm not, please stop. Hug, mind hug, can you please stop being kind of mean to me? Anyway. What are you going to make for the challenge, love? Tomato and dried plum jelly and soy milk. A dessert? Can you also do that? A cool and slippery texture of the jelly combined with the sweet and tangy taste of tomatoes and savory plums. All mixed in a soup of creamy soy milk. Yes, I can see how well it works together. I make jelly tonight and let it set. You don't want jelly too tough. In medium clumps so they melt while running smoothly down your throat. Zakan is always so friendly and instructive. I wonder why Kiri is the Suze, but not her. Well, I have nothing against Kiri. Zakan seems like a better fit. Kiri isn't as firm. I hope kitchen isn't too crowded tonight, though. I might have to use one on my floor. You could have used the kitchen after lunch, you know, and missed my beauty sleep. Plus, Chief Ada prefers to experiment on recipes by herself. Being the head chef requires Ada to plan and design the menu for the week from the ingredients and taste to presentation. Design the menu for the week from the ingredients and taste to presentation. Taking extra orders from our residents in advance means anticipating and purchasing the right amount of perishables for the week. I wonder if I can confidently do it someday. I believe in you, Rue. Careful! Darren grabs onto my arm before I fall over while trying to walk around a scattered bottle. Seriously, can we clean this up? It's not kidding us to deal with this right now. That's true. Good. We looked at Carrie, who's already started picking up the bottles and placing them in a container. Carrie happily hums an off-key song while she makes King's bed. Safe to say she has been prepared to do this for a long, long time. I suppose this is a good time as any to clean up the room. In half an hour, the room becomes pristine. We tuck the bottles in the corner, waiting for Kiang's return.